Good morning. Good morning, sir. Once again, everybody with a smile, please. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Are you all right? Yes, sir. Comfortable? Yes, sir. Now sit with your back to the desk. I am going to talk. It's my turn to entertain you or try to entertain you. Just relax and see the point. We are already into more than 1 month into the course, and the first module, that is public speaking and professional presentations part, is over. That is behind us. You have already made 2 presentations, and now you know where you are very good and where you are not so good. Wherever you are not so good, please work hard on that and try and make up for the same. Be the best that you are designed to be, that you ought to be. Many people have not checked the videos of their presentations yet. I invite you to come to my room, bring your pen drive if you like, or even without, come and watch it on my computer and see if there is a change in your presentation style between the 2 presentations you have made so far. Are you doing better? Wherever you feel you are not doing as well as you ought to, you will have to try and work harder. Okay? Do you understand? Say yes or no. Yes, so I invite you to come and watch your own presentation. Let us take advantage of having the class in this studio. In an ordinary classroom, I may not have been able to videograph you and to show you the changes, if any, between your first and your next presentations. Here we can. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Right. Take advantage of that, please. Today I am going to announce the topic for the 3rd cycle. Please write. This is the topic for the 3rd cycle. What is the topic? Can one of you please read it aloud to me? You can see the PPT, PowerPoint slide there.
Managerial solution to a civic problem.
Yeah. Anyone else? What's the topic for the next
A managerial
cycle?
solution to a civic problem.
Yeah, right. Yes, it's a managerial solution to a civic problem. What is it? Once again, listen, and then mark the pause, mark the phrase structure. Okay, a managerial solution to a civic problem. What is it?
Managerial solution to a civic problem.
Okay, for any problem or for many problems, there can be a military solution. Okay, go and kill the man who is committing theft. Okay, but Gandhi's solution, the managerial solution is, don't kill him. Tell him it is not good to commit theft. Okay, that is Gandhi's solution. Hate the sin, but not the sinner. What is the solution? Hate the sin, but not the sinner. Right? That is a manager's job. A manager does not destroy. A manager creates. A manager does not add to the problems. A manager solves the problems. Okay? So you have already spoken about a problem in your place. Some people did not speak about their place. They spoke about all of India or all of the world. I strongly encourage them to find a local problem, quote unquote local. Find a local problem, okay, whatever it is, from your place, your street. If you are in a big city like Chennai or Shanghai or New York or Delhi or Calcutta or Bombay, then you don't even need to talk about all of Bombay, all of Calcutta. Talk about your part of the city and then come up with a solution. Okay? So, this is the topic for the next presentation. This presentation will come to you, please note, sometime in the middle of March. Kiran and I worked out the date the other day. I will tell you tomorrow exactly when. Please, for God's sake, do not miss your turn when it is your turn to speak, particularly because we are doing it here in the studio. You know, it's a huge lineup. They don't have a vacant slot. If you miss your turn, you miss it. Okay? So, make sure you don't. Number one. Number two, the reason I am telling you so much in advance, I am telling you almost 4 weeks in advance or even 5 perhaps about your topic. The reason is not that I want to forget it or I want you to forget it. The reason is I want you to prepare, I want you to think, I want you to research, okay, about your topic and come up with some genuine solution, something interesting, something feasible, something which an intelligent and determined manager can and should propose for the problem you have already described. Am I clear to you? So, please, unlike some people, I had a very clear distinct impression last time that some people had not prepared well enough. They possibly woke up at the last minute, put some slides together and presented here. I do not want that kind of job. I want it to be your best, just as the hero in the Hindi film does. It is difficult to marry the girl he wants, or the heroine in the Hindi film does. It is difficult to marry the hero she wants, but she does her best, overcomes all the troubles, all the problems. Okay? That is why I am giving you 4 or 5 weeks, so that you can write to your people home, you can make calls, you can ascertain and obtain information and do it. Then you will not only learn to make a good presentation, you will discover the hidden researcher, the talent in you. That is why I am telling you about 5 weeks in advance. Is that okay? Please do not forget and do not ask me again what the topic is. On the appointed date or before 2 or 3 days before the appointed date, I will ask you to stand up and make a presentation. Third, I expect all your PowerPoint slides to come to the studio 2 clear days before presentation, before your presentation is due. Any doubts, please? Everybody please say yes or no. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Any doubts? Your presentation must come here, your slides must come here by or before 10th March. I think your presentation comes on 13th, 14th, 15th, in the middle of the month, and final presentation will come in the middle of April, and with that the course ends. Is that all right? Yes, do you agree? Are you happy with that? Yes, sir. No examination, no quizzes. This is all that you have to do. So, today I am going to tell you how you can prepare for the topic, what a managerial solution can be, how much time you will have to make your presentation, and what I will expect you to tell me. In other words, how I will evaluate you. You can take notes if you like. All right? Okay, here we go. What is a managerial solution to a civic problem? Okay. So, for example, look at this problem, very, very familiar problem, we know it well. Okay. On our campus, we have a lot of monkeys. Now, we cannot kill them, can we? We cannot even catch them and leave them in Adyar, Taramani, or in another place, or in Andhra, or in Kerala, or in Pakistan. Can we do that? Say yes or no? Why can't we? Why can't we?
This is their home, so
Sorry?
this is their home, so we can't.
This is their home, and
That creates problem to you.
that creates problems for others. It does not solve the problem, it only transfers the problem. Correct? It does not solve. Actually, it adds to the problem. You have monkey, now you have monkey plus an enemy. If you put this monkey in Pakistan or in Bangladesh or in Sri Lanka, Earlier we used to export these monkeys to biotech labs in America or Canada, but then there are animal rights groups that tell us no, we cannot do that. You can have your opinion, but the fact remains that the world today is more sensitive and wants the animals to have their rights too. Now, does that mean we should allow them to drink from the same glass of bottle of water from which we drink? I feel slightly scared. I love them, but I don't want to eat in the same plate with them. Okay, I don't love them so much. So, what is my option? What can I do? That is where a managerial solution is required, a solution that will not kill the monkey, a solution that will save water, a solution that will also allow some water for monkey somewhere. Are you with me? Suppose imagine monkey has already water available to it. Is it still likely that he would come and break your tap open? I don't know. I am not a specialist on monkeys. Okay? But this will be a specialist job to find a solution to this kind of thing. So, what we are talking today, what we are talking about today is finding a solution which meets certain required criteria. What? What is a managerial solution? Excuse me. What is a managerial solution? A managerial solution is number one, cost effective. Okay? Monkey wastes your water, and imagine yourself bringing an artillery gun to kill the monkey, then that will cost you a lot of money. Okay? So, a good manager uses available resources, but uses it better. Okay? Either you may reorganize, you may provide other water outlet for the monkey somewhere, or you can create a particular kind of tap for them, or you can create a particular kind of pool for them, something available. Monkey has to have some water, just as we have to have some water. Okay? But the point is, how can we care for them both? So, a managerial solution will have to use the same resources, but will have to use the same resources in a better manner, in a more cost effective manner, in a more democratic manner, in a manner such that everyone has access to the available resources, not that rich should become richer and the poor should become poorer, not that. That is not a good solution. That solution will never bring you peace and comfort. Peace and comfort to you will come to you only when you make good use of available resources, and good here means cost effective, democratic, everyone gets the minimum. Okay? A good manager also recognizes time, when you should do it, how much time it should take. Suppose you start finding a solution and it takes a decade. Can we wait for 10 years? Maybe we can, if there is no other solution, but compared with a solution which works in 9 years, a 10-year solution is not a good solution. Is that right? Okay. So, your manager will have to be sensitive to time, will have to be sensitive to people and their needs, will have to be sensitive to place. Where are we? We are in a place which is water starved. You do not have a lot of water in big cities anywhere in the world, particularly in some countries of Asia and Africa. You do not have a lot of water, but you have about 10 million, 11 million people living in this city, and you have to find water for them. What can you do? Okay? Can you create water? Has engineering reached that stage so that water can be created artificially? Say yes or no?
No.
No, I mean, it can be. The engineering has reached a stage where seawater can be desalinated and you can make it available to people, but it is not cost effective yet. It is still extremely expensive. Only the rich and the scientists can afford that kind of water, but someday one of you comes up with technology which does something like this. You touch it and the water becomes desalinated, or you take it to your home and do some simple chemical process and the water gets desalinated. Suppose you have create a filter which takes away all the salt and leaves the good water behind. Today it might sound impossible, but nothing is impossible in engineering sciences. When I was your age, it would have been difficult for me to imagine that there could be a box like machine using which I can send an entire book length material to New York at the cost of a local call and the time it takes for a local call. Okay? So, nothing is impossible, provided you keep these factors in mind, that I have to find a solution which does not cost a whole lot of money, a solution which works well, does not create another problem, it has no side effect. That is a managerial solution. Okay? It must also be eco friendly. When plastic was created, the polymer, the material that we have extensively used for many purposes in the last 20-25 years in the world. I was about your age or slightly older when plastic came to India. There was a lot of excitement in the beginning. Before that, many poor people, slum dwellers, please believe me, did not have a plate, a dining plate, even a steel plate from which they could eat. They had to eat either on the leaves, banana leaves, or on plain hand. There is a Sanskrit proverb, Karatal Viksha, most beggars have nothing but their hand. So, when plastic came, almost everyone had a plate, everyone had a jug, it became fashionable, but later we realized that plastic was no solution. Why not? Because it caused other problems, it damaged ecology, environment. Refrigeration is not a solution. Why? Because it tears the ozone level, that increasing heat, even in the month of February, even places like Delhi and Patna and Lucknow experience heat. It is largely because of these gases we have added in extra quantities in the world, in the universe. So, these are not smart solutions. These solutions are called too clever by half. You think they are solutions, but they are not. So, a good manager will find an eco friendly solution. Okay? And in the end, they must not only be cost effective, they must not only be sensitive to people, they must not only be eco friendly, they must also be easy to implement. They must be easy. Imagine, think of the engineer who created a pressure cooker. In one stroke, that engineer, for every family in the world, that engineer saved 75% of the fuel. How much? How much?
75%.
Yeah, 75 where must come. 75 how much? Everybody please write. What is this?
75%.
Go slowly. 75%.
75%.
Once again, what is this?
75%.
Correct. 75% of fuel was saved by simply designing, creating a vessel which cooked in 1/4 of the time. Okay? So, that is what a smart managerial solution is. It is cost effective, it is easy to implement, it is people sensitive, time sensitive, etc., etc. I will give you some examples. It could be my story, it could be your story, it does not matter, the people do not matter, but I am telling you the story of a neighborhood where lots of people threw garbage at one person's door. That person happened to have a corner house, and near his gate every morning he found dump of garbage. What would you do if it were your house? Okay. This person went from door to door begging with them. Daivaseda kuppa kurade. Okay. In Tamil, he put up a poster, say with folded hand, a lady telling the people threw more garbage there. When they saw the poster, they threw more garbage. Okay. What could he done? Then he thought of using a gun. He put a poster with a coconut and says, I will break your head like coconut. And he watched from the terrace of his house, evening, nights, 1 or 2 days, he had a big fight with his neighbors, but it was not possible. He could not have been there all the 24 hours by the side of a busy road, lot of young people working in software companies. They come riding the motorbike, and leftovers of the last evening's pizza would be offered to him as gift at his door, and the motorcycle would go on racing. Before he came out, ran after the motorbike, the boy driving the motorbike and the girl sitting behind the bike, behind the boy on the bike, disappeared. Okay. Even before he could note the registration number of the motorbike. So, even that solution was not helping. Then he thought of hiring a security, he contacted a security agency, okay, that I want guards 24 hours. The security agency said, we can give you guards, but we cannot guarantee that our guards will help you against your neighbors. Okay? You have to do something. Then what could you have done? Then they went to this person went to police, because throwing garbage on the road is an offense. Do you know that? Yes or no? Do you know under what section? Yeah, it is an offense. You can be arrested if you throw a bit of paper on the road. You are causing nuisance in the public. There is a section of some act of criminal procedure code which can be invoked against you. So, this person went to the police station. The police inspector, the police officer was very sympathetic. They said, offered him a cup of tea, sat down and heard him, and then told him, if you know somebody in particular, then tell me, we can go and arrest him, try him. But if you do not know anyone in particular, there is no way we can help. We cannot post a policeman at your doorstep. We are already overworked, looking after ministers, MLAs, airports, railway stations, bus stands, a whole lot of things, and there simply are not enough policemen to protect you. I am sorry, try and bring me the photograph of somebody throwing garbage at your doorstep. We will try and tell him not to do so. It is difficult. Then what this man did, somebody told him, why don't you try this idea? Put a photograph of the deity popular in that area, either Jesus Christ or or Shiva or somebody. So, this man, this is how the place looked like, with with all the garbage and all that, etc., etc. He almost wanted to take a gun and kill himself or kill his neighbors, but it was not working. That is where a managerial solution is required, which is smart, which is eco-friendly, which is easy to implement, which is cost effective, which does not take a long time. So, somebody, another of his neighbors told him, why don't you put the picture of a deity? Can you see? Can you see the picture there at the gate? Now? Yes or no? Okay. And can you see the greenery there? Suddenly, as soon as there was this picture of whatever deity, which deity is that? Aparna, what deity is that there? Ashwini, what deity is that over there? Some deity, some, Hindus are a very rich people, they have 10,000 or 100,000 gods. Okay? Some deity was put there and it completely stopped. Nobody then, everybody, I don't know what happened, my neighbor doesn't know what happened, but everybody stopped throwing garbage there. Okay? And what did it cost that house owner? Tell me. Or maybe about 100 rupees or so, some photograph there, getting somebody to put it up there. The point here is, this was a very good solution to a highly, complete the phrase please, to a highly, give me the word, come on somebody please, give me the word. It was a very smart solution to a highly complex problem, highly irritating problem. You cannot live without neighbors. You cannot go and live on the moon all by yourself. You need neighbors. Okay? At the same time, you cannot live with garbage. Okay? What do you do? There could be lots of other ways. Another way could have been for this person to create a garbage dump and tell everybody to dump there, get together a garbage truck which removes this. All kinds of solutions can be proposed. I am not telling you religion is the only solution. I am trying to tell you that each problem, and when you make a presentation, it is not, all these things that I have told you, English, stage manners. Later this month I am going to tell you, beginning tomorrow I am going to talk about pronunciation. All these things are secondary. The primary is the quality of the message. Okay? You said something interesting? Yes, common sense, exactly. That is common sense, okay, which is abundantly available to every creature and which we only rarely use. Okay? Use that. That is managerial solution. So, whatever the problem you have presented, please bring also a solution to it. I will give you another example. Suppose a boy about to appear at the matriculation examination, has a fall from the bicycle and fractures a hand, breaks a hand. Is that a problem? Yes or no?
Yes,
Is that a problem?
yes, sir.
How would you advise that boy, that student, to solve the problem? Ask for extra time to appear at the examination later. Any other solution? Come on. A writer for him, somebody who has not broken his hand. Correct? Anybody else? Come on, give us some solution, please. Do some brainstorming.
Start writing with his left hand.
Start writing with his left hand. Is that a funny solution? Why?
It's not practically feasible.
Not possible.
Not
Not
possible
possible.
in 10 days. Time is not sufficient.
How many people say it's not possible in 10 days? One. And how many people say it is possible in 10 days? Okay, but this is a real story, you know. A boy on this campus, I know, you know, fell down from the bicycle, a professor's son, before matriculation examination and broke his right hand. A good boy, coming first in the class, preparing for JEE, etc., etc., and 10 days before examination. That boy was heartbroken. Right? All his dreams of, you know, JEE, etc., etc., disappearing from before his eyes. Okay. The father ran to the board, matriculation board, asking if an scribe, if his son would be permitted to use a scribe. You know what a scribe is? Who is a scribe? Anybody? No, a scribe is somebody who writes for you. So, in the story of Mahabharata, do you know? How many people know? Who was the famous scribe for the writer Vyasa? The composer Vyasa? Lord Ganesha was the scribe. Vyasa dictated and Ganesha wrote. There is a big word for that in Latin. Okay? But the small word is this thing, scribe. Okay? So, father went to the examination board, asked for the scribe, and the examination board told him that there was no provision. Why? Because he said it used to be there, you know, we are a great country India, it used to be there, the provision, but so many people broke their hand just to pass matriculation that they would break, a bad student's hand would be broken by his father, and then a good scribe was found and the boy was made to pass matriculation. So, the government withdrew that facility, no scribe was allowed. Okay? If you abuse any facility, then that facility cannot continue. So, no scribe was allowed. Then could he appear at an oral examination? That is not possible. Again, you know, new kind of act will have to be enacted. Then what was the solution? Then this was the solution. That family encouraged the boy, they told the boy that you anyway have 10 days. Okay? You know the subject, all you have to do is to learn writing with your left hand. So, why do not you practice it in the remaining 10 days or 9 days? Okay? What problems are there when you write with your left hand? Can you tell me? Number 1, it would be slow. Number 2, let us write, let us make a list. The writing would be slow. What would it be? Then next,
Legible, maybe.
bad handwriting, or as you rightly said, illegible writing. What is this? Illegible. What is it?
Illegible.
Yes, stress here. What is this?
Illegible.
Illegible writing. Okay, cannot be read. Next, what are the problems? Strain. Where? What problem? Strain. Where?
All possible paths.
Why all possible parts? Why should there be a strain on the left finger? Sorry, or in the right finger if you left with left. There were a strain in 3 places. You know, when you write, pick up your pen. This muscle, your forearm muscle works. Then your arm muscle works. There is a third muscle. Can you tell me where? No, wrist of course moves, yes, but 3 muscles play a huge, a very significant role when you write: your forearm, your arm and your shoulder, back. upper back muscle. So, in less than 2 days the boy had severe pain in the left shoulder, left arm, because over the you have been writing that way for how many years, 15 years or 20 years, 19 years, okay, right, definitely more than 10, more than 14, more than 13, as suddenly you are asked to write 20 pages a day using that part of your body which you haven't used earlier. So, it was painful, but in 10 days the boy got used to writing. The family took care of the boy, they gave him some extra special massage, and the boy was able to pass with very good marks, nearly as good. Yeah, but yes, possibly, yes, that would be still a smarter solution, but I am talking of an era when computers were not so easily available. But you are quite right, yes, you see this is smart solution, a managerial solution, okay. Voice driven software, voice driven computing. What is it? Imagine if a computer could recognize your voice like human beings do, then there will be no problem for people who are visually challenged. You will suddenly have removed a huge barrier that nature has created for some people. In other words, all I am trying to tell you is that a managerial solution requires very smart thinking. Okay? Don't give me conventional, hackneyed answer to the problem you presented last week. I am giving you 5 weeks to think, come up with something. It may not be possible to implement it right away, but no harm dreaming about it. There can be, we can together talk about lots of stories where smart solutions could be found for similar problems, but all we are talking about is a managerial solution, a good manager solution which does not add to the problem, but solves it. In every city, I think how many people spoke about traffic problems last week? Can you raise your hands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't raise both your hands, please. Okay, 7 people. Okay, so 7 in a class of 40. What percentage is that? What percentage is that? 70. Let us say 1 out of every 5, which means that all of India is facing this problem. There is a huge problem of traffic jam, traffic bottlenecks, congested road, bad roads. Okay. Yeah, I come from a place where there is no road, but there still are cars. Banks provide loans there as well. So, for every marriage, as a girl goes from one family to the other, she also takes a car from one family to the other. Okay. Or the girl goes later, the car goes before. Okay, right. But there are no roads. So, there are traffic jams even in smaller cities, smaller places in India. Now, what can you do? We are a democratic country. Can you say only BTechs can have cars, MTechs are not allowed, or dual degree people alone can have cars? Shall we say that? Say yes or no.
No.
Maybe, but maybe in China we can. In China they do that. In China they say that today, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, only cars with number plates bearing even numbers can come on the road. So, they take care of half the cars, and they in China they implement all their rules very strictly, no exception at all. Okay. Maybe, so you can say that, or in many European countries they have done start schools early, send school buses in many Indian cities as well. They have done start schools at 7 o'clock, get school buses, school cars, school transport before office transport, start office a little late, close office a little late, after mothers send their children. So, there are many ways in which this problem of managing traffic can be handled. Okay? They do not require necessarily building flyovers, building subways, or building other kinds of tunnels or passes. A simple managerial solution can also be found for them. Stagger certain things or bring something before, or you can say no big lorries to enter the city. They must all stop on the outskirts of the city, create a parking area. Anybody from Delhi? Okay. They stop all major buses coming from outside Delhi into particular places. In Chennai, they stop buses in Coimbatore. In Delhi, they stop trucks in Azadpur. You can do that. That is another solution. Or you can have some priority basis, mass transport vehicles. In American cities, if you are traveling one person, one car, you can't use some routes. But if you are sharing the car with 2 or 3 other people, or if you go in a bus, then those things, those transport vehicles can use those routes. Some of these things can also be. In other words, what I am trying to tell you is the following, that a managerial solution will arise if you think carefully on all aspects. It need not necessarily only be an engineering solution. Of course, it can also be an engineering solution. After all, engineering technology is also used by a manager, but essentially it is the manager who is going to use it. So, all kinds of possible ways exist using which you can say that traffic bottlenecks or traffic jams can be managed better, provided we use solution. Am I clear to you about what I want you to talk about? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Everybody please.
Yes, sir.
So, start working on your topic beginning today, not necessarily writing, thinking. This is the problem I spoke about. If I have to solve this problem at no cost or at very little cost, what am I going to do? Okay? There will be 2 ways. Raise your hands. God, I can't do anything. Okay, let my father do it, let my mother do it, let my professor do it. Or the other way would be start thinking, please. How much time I would give you? For this presentation, please write, for this cycle, you will now have 30 marks, 30%. You remember the first cycle, how much did I tell you? 10. The second, 20, and the third now you will have 30, and you will have 100 seconds. Okay? You must complete in 100 seconds, telling us all. You can describe the problem orally. You can say that last time I spoke about the traffic problem or garbage problem or problem of electricity wastage on IIT campus. You can mention the problem. You can, once again I will allow you 3 slides and at the most 1 photograph. Some people last time put 6 photographs in 1 slide. That I do not consider a good way of doing. Out of those 6, you could have chosen 1 photograph. Which photograph would say that best, and you could have used that photograph. So, in this case I will allow you 3 slides plus at the most 1 photograph, but no more. On the first slide, you must describe the process of solution, how your solution is going to work. In the second slide, you can talk about any reorganization, any machine, any technology that you are bringing in. Okay? And in the third slide, you can talk about the cost in terms of money, in terms of time, in terms of any other resources. That is why I have allowed you 3 slides, 1 photograph, 100 seconds to talk about the problem you have in mind. Okay? What I would evaluate you for this time? I would evaluate you for the following. Okay? Contents. Did you really have something smart, something original? I am not telling you don't go to the internet, you know, they are there, but if you use, you know, any internet site, then cite the source, tell us where you have taken it from, also tell us whether you can make it any better, whether you can make it any more changes in it, can it become still better than it is, okay? Can something more be done about it, right? Or is it about the optimum? So, you know, I will have out of 30, I will easily have 10 marks for contents. Okay? I like to see if you are really able to describe the solution in its 3 components, its mechanism, how it works, what cost it saves, what time it saves. Okay? Then of course, I will have all these old things in mind, tempo of speech. At least about half a dozen people spoke very rapidly even in the second presentation. So, tell me, but watch it, just see how rapidly you have. So, there will be some marks for these things, like whether you spoke slow enough, whether your stage manners, did you look at your people, did you look at your listeners, look into the eyes of your listeners, your stage manners, your appearance, your turnout, etc. And of course, PowerPoint slides, some people still had very cluttered slides. I invite you, I strongly invite you to come and watch your own presentation, you know, and see how you can make it still better. And this time the new thing would be, I would add pronunciation. In place of percent, if you say percent, what is this? It is percent. What is this?
Percent.
But not percent. Okay. What is this?
75.
This is 75. What is this?
75.
Correct. I would wait for, I wait to hear the v in 5. And if you don't say v, if you just say 75, I will take away 10 marks from you and I will keep it back in my pocket. I will not give it to you. So, out of 30, no matter what you do, you will get only 20. So, I will have clear 10 marks for pronunciation. This week I am going to, so please write, check the pronunciation of your keywords. What is this? Keywords. So, in a managerial solution, what is the keyword? Solution, numbers, etc. etc. You know, check those 10 or 12 words, no more. Okay? And similar things. Any questions? Thank you. Have a good day.